You, wait. What happened to the lights? Hello? Why are there no light? Wait a minute. No! It can't be. Too dark to see it. Fant4stic. Of course. Of course there's no lights. Well, I'm not this shitty movie, so I'm gonna turn on the lights. Is that at least better? Alright. Yo, it's me, CSCOTT. Welcome to Modern Monday, where I take a look at a movie from the 2000s or 2010s, and give it a review. And yes, we're doing Fant4stic. This is one movie I did not need to rewatch. Both because I already have my opinions on the film, and I don't need to rewatch to do that. And two, I'm not rewatching this piece of shit. Oh, man. So, I've made my feelings known about the previous installments of the Fantastic Four. If you don't know, the Fantastic Four is probably one of my favorite comic book teams. Up there with the Avengers, the Justice League, the Teen Titans. But their theatrical... Like, growing up, I watched the animated series, which I thought was great. I've even watched the DVDs as an adult, too. And I've watched the two other films, which, yeah, they're not very good. They're at least entertaining, and at least they're fucking doing something in those films. This film, well, when the director himself bashes the... Damn. When the director himself bashes the film, you know you're in for it. Before the film was even released, Josh Trank bashed the film, saying he had a perfect version of this film complete. But the studio came in, cut it all up, and you can tell there was reshoots because Sue Storm's hair, you can tell when there's a wig and when it was actually her hair. You can tell when reshoots are done. I also have my own feelings on this when they announced the cast. I thought they were all too young. Reed Richards and Sue Storm need to at least be in their late 30s, early 40s. Johnny Storm needs to be, one, white, and two, in his mid to late 20s. And Ben Grimm, he can be about the same age as Sue and Reed, but he needs to be a buff guy. Now, in the original ones, you had Michael Chiklis. He's not buff per se, but he's still a big built guy. Jamie Bell, he's shorter than the guy who plays Mr. Fantastic. How is he supposed to have anyone's back when he's skinnier and shorter than Miles Teller? That doesn't make any sense. Also, I know, I mentioned Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan is a great actor. Okay, he's a great actor. But he does not work in this film. And they do not explain it. Johnny and Sue's dad is black as well. But they don't explain whether or not Sue is adopted or if she's just white. Or if she's just is supposed to be that way. And was their mom white? Was she black? They don't explain anything. And as soon as I saw the cast, I knew this was going to fail. And yes, it stems from the fact that you don't make Johnny Storm black. He's supposed to be white and blonde. That sort of thing. I mean, Chris Evans wasn't blonde. He had sort of a tint in the second film to his hair. But at least they tried with him. And I know you sit there and say, well, he was in another Josh Trank film. I know he was. He was in Chronicle. But, which is a far better film, I think. But here, there's, the dialogue is terrible. Like, one of the scenes has Reed Richards going to the library where Sue is sitting and say she's listening to music on her headphones, and so he's like, you like music? No! And then there's a scene where, everyone arrives, there's a montage of stuff that's happening to eat Chinese food, whatever, and then Sue walks up to Johnny and says, "It's good having you here." For what? The Chinese food? He has been there, and you have done nothing together. And I know, you could say, this movie was chopped up because of the reshoots. Yes, but if that's why that scene doesn't make any sense, then they should have taken that out. Also, how they get their powers. Why did you change up? I know sometimes they change up origin stories, but this literally makes no sense to me. Why are they going to an alternate dimension when they're supposed to go into outer space? Even the animated series got it right, with the line from the theme song, "On an outer space adventure, they were hit by cosmic rays." Not, they went to another dimension, and they got hit by Mountain Dew. No! Look, and this is what really kind of pisses me off. Victor Von Doom. One, they call him Victor Von Doom, and it was supposed to be a grittier take on the Fantastic Four. You have a character named Von Doom. It sounds like a DuckTales villain. Plus me bagpipes, it's Von Doom! I mean, come on. In the original script, he was Victor Domashez, but the studio changed it because it has to be Von Doom. You didn't even need Von Doom in this film. You didn't. And, in my review for Rise of the Silver Surfer, I said how pointless it was. How completely stupid it was to have Von Doom be part of that film, as he doesn't even fit with Galactus. Right? Instead of putting him in that film, they should have had Galactus be the one that was the main threat. Here, you could have, if you were setting up for a sequel, make the U.S. government the villain. They sort of have that. How they work, they're testing them and they're forcing them to work. And then you can fight against some government guy who has been doing the wrong thing. He's a corrupt government official type guy. And then once, he gets powers from this dimension. And he can be an original villain. You don't have to use ones from the comics, you know what I mean? And then you can have a portal at the end and Von Doom steps out. You could do that. This film wasn't going anywhere for a sequel anyway. And they decided to follow the X-Men way of not saying their superhero names, but instead calling them by their real character names. They don't even say Fantastic Four in the damn film. At the end, they're going, "We need a name." And they say Fantastic, and he's like, "I got it." And then it flashes Fantastic Four on the screen. They don't even say it. And yes, they're saying, Fox did this because the X-Men did it. They wanted to be gritty like the X-Men. But the problem with that is, by this point, the X-Men were calling themselves by the X-Men name at this point, because they had sort of soft rebooted the franchise with the prequel characters. And they even started using their character names, like in X-Men First Class, when Mystique starts going, "Oh, I'm Mystique, you're Professor X, and you could be Magneto," So the fact that they're relatively going back in time to when the first X-Men movie came out to make this like that, because that was successful. Not knowing that the Fantastic Four, like X-Men can work as a gritty take on a gritty kind of film, because they can have gritty stories. Fantastic Four is supposed to be lighthearted. It doesn't work when you make it gritty. And also, turn on the goddamn lights. Even when there's lights on, there's no light. Everything is dark. It has to be dark because it has to be dark and gritty. Can't see anything. You have to watch this in nighttime with no lights. It's so dark. My God, this movie's terrible. This movie is terrible. The first time I watched this, I watched it with my son, partially. I thought it was okay. Then I bought this from Family Video for a discounted price, thank you very much. And I put it in. And while I thought it was okay, as the years have gone on, I have come to hate this film. Because it goes against everything the Fantastic Four stands for. So, you get I don't even want to give it a score. But you know what? It gets a 1. A 1. Because I refuse to go down to a 0 for any of my scores. So the lowest you can get is a 1. And I think this is the first to ever get a 1 in the history of my channel. In the year I've been on here. And yes, I'll stop right here and I'll say, hey, I was going to do something on the 20th. I totally spaced it. Because the 20th, my first video that I have as a reviewer goes back to August 20th. Even though I did the Detective Pikachu and the VHS ones, but I deleted those, so I have to go by that one. I totally spaced it. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on Fantastic Four? I'm Fant4stic. I would love to hear those in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. See you in the next one. Oh, one last thing. To quote the angry video game nerd, what were they thinking?